Welcome to the mysterious world. Today we will jump into Italy, home to the highest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. With its rich culture and unparalleled historical treasures, it also harbors a darker side, a more mysterious one. Beneath the breathtaking beauty, there is a world of black magic and other supernatural beings. There are castles that are cursed. There lies the house of the devil. There are witches that linger for centuries. Join us as we dive into the most 5 haunted places in Italy. Let's begin. 5. Capuchin Catacombs in Palermo. It is basically a cemetery, but a very strange kind. Why? Because it contains about 8,000 mummies lined upon walls in boxes, lying or standing or even sitting. It was built in the 17th century. It was originally exclusive for monks of that monastery. Then, over time, it became a status symbol. So the wealthy locals paid a hefty amount to be buried in these holy vaults. Initially, the priest would lay the deceased on the shelves and allow them to drip until the bodies were completely dried. Then a year later, they would rinse the corpses with vinegar and dress them in their best attires. Then they would hang them on the catacomb walls, in open coffins, in the narrow corridors, and piled on shelves, so that their loved ones could visit and pay respect. In exchange of this honor, the family would pay a small donation. When the money stopped, the corpse would be moved to a different shelf, making room for a more wealthy one. The corpses are separated according to age, sex, social status, and occupation. There is a chapel for virgin girls. The virgins are displayed there in faded and tattered white dress. Despite their best attires, they look gruesome because of their empty eye sockets, sunken cheeks, and wide-open mouth as if they are screaming. The most recent and last embalmed body was of Rosalia Lombardo. She was a 2-year-old baby who died in 1920 due to pneumonia. The embalming process has kept her so well preserved that she is called the Sleeping Beauty. 4. Beelzebub's house in Cefalù. This house is popularly known as the Devil's House. The notorious Satanist Aleister Crowley once lived here. He mainly practiced occultism and sex-related magic and was the father of Satanism ideology. Crowley made this house his hideout. He painted obscene pictures on the walls of this house. Here, everyone used to walk around naked. There was no civility or shame here. At some point, they started sacrificing animals. Along came Satan worship and perverted sexuality. Gradually, they started giving human sacrifice instead of animal sacrifice. It is heard that once they started eating cannibals. Home is not like meeting hell. Later, the villagers came to know about this and expelled Crowley from the village. And this house is advertised for sale. But till today, no one dared to face this house. And anyway, it doesn't make sense to buy the Devil's House with money, right? 3. Villa Magnoni, Ferrara. Screams often come from this villa. The sound of humming is heard. A woman is also seen standing on the window grill in this villa. Once 4 young men heard about the mystery of this villa and entered this building to get some mystery. As they entered, they heard the pitiful cry of a child. And fearing this sound, they started coming outside. A woman hoarsely asks them to leave the house before leaving the house. They quickly tried to squeeze into the car and get away, and that's the obstacle. The car has an accident, and 3 of the 4 people died in that accident. The young survivor came back and told everyone about the incident. Then he learns that a witch once lived here, and it is because of his curse that this situation has happened to them. Since then, no one comes near this house for fear of curse. 2. Montebello Castle. This castle belonged to Lord Montebello. Her youngest daughter, Gwendolina, was diagnosed with albinism. In this disease, all the hairs of the patient's body turn white at an early age. Those suffering from this disease were considered cursed at that time. Sometimes they were burned as witches. So this little child was hidden in that castle. 2 guards always guarded this kid. One day, Gwendolina was playing when her doll fell into a small alley. He goes into the alley to get the doll. Hearing her screams, the guards rushed there but could not find either the doll or the child. Gwendolina vanished into thin air. That day was the day of the summer solstice. This day was a day of celebration for Italians. Every summer solstice since then, the sound of a child's cry emanates from the castle. His pitiful scream shook the surrounding nature. 1. Ploweglia, Italy. Ploweglia is a small and beautiful island in northern Italy, located between Venice and Lido. In the early 16th century, a plague epidemic broke out in Italy. During this time, plague victims were kept on this island. Once the number of plague patients increased a lot, goes beyond the control of the rulers. To overcome the plague, the rulers burned about 160,000 people alive on this island. Screams could be heard on the island ever since. Spirits roamed the island. Later, black fever patients were also kept on this island. Later, a mental hospital was built on this island. Later, this hospital was also closed due to the persecution of the spirits. Everyone knows this island as a cursed and haunted island. This is the end of today's mystery. You can share your opinion in the comments. See you in a new video. And you can watch this video to know 5 mysterious places in England. Thanks for staying with us.